How's it going, folks? See if we can get this finished today, hey?
Right, better sharpen up your bowl gouge, Jay.
To run down the sides.
Yep, you're going to do it. It's technically the wrong way, but if you do it gently, it's quick.
Down that way.
Yeah, from the top to the bottom,
Right.
down along the edge.
That'll be bloody right. I went to Bunnings this morning and bought a new belt sander because I thought I'm going to need to sharpen my scraper a lot today. And then you tell me to grab the bloody bowl gouge.
No, well, you're going to need to sharpen your scraper as well, but.
How you going, Dr. Bob?
Well, hello there.
G'day, Bob. How are you?
Are you good? I've watched your sharpening video a couple of times. Probably one of the best instructional videos I have seen because it comes from experience.
There's a few things I actually missed out because I couldn't lay things out, plus I was having a few technical difficulties.
Yeah, but that doesn't
preclude
the knowledge and the expertise that you have, and when you had everything at your fingertips. And
yeah,
it'd be nice if we could get you a couple more good cameras and a little better software for someone that can help in the background.
That's all right. Yeah. All right, John. Good morning, John. It's morning in Australia. I believe it's evening over there. And you one from Ottawa Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. We're probably a bit warmer than you are this morning.
How you going, John? If I can have my mic on long enough, I'm having another chopper day today.
Yeah. No, I need to set it up, Bob, like I would normally do a demonstration in front of a club. I'd need about 7 or 8 cameras.
I've already checked the chuck.
You already what?
I say I have already checked the chuck.
Check the chuck. Right. Okay. Good. Now I'm with you. Right.
Are we turning or what?
Well, I don't know. You're wasting a lot of time there. Get into it.
Wasting time. I know. All that time trying to explain it to you.
Now, don't start up near the top. Go down to that inch bit and start taking off the high spots. No, come up to the top. Come up to the top of the bowl. There, and start there. No, not there. You haven't got any meat left there. Yeah. Now, this will sound strange, Jay. This will sound strange. What you've got to do is virtually watch the tip of the chisel and the outside of the bowl, like an X-ray vision, and make sure you don't come through the side of it.
Yep.
Don't worry if it's a bit rough. We'll clean that up with a scraper later.
I was just feeling it. All right.
Yeah, no, that's all right. It looks like it's cutting pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
G'day, Bailey. How are you? Bailey's in, Jay.
Who?
From Bailey Woodworks.
Oh, how you going?
Keep the bevel rubbish.
I'm going to have a look. Oh.
Right, check your wall thickness. Ah, the blue light turner's in as well. G'day, Scott, isn't it? Scott? Yep. Yeah, I think.
How you going, Scott?
Check your wall thickness with your thumb and forefinger or both hands. How much have you got? Oh, yeah, rightio. Good. We'll get into it. Just remember, you're very thin up the top.
Yeah, right. You telling me I'm getting bold?
No, not worried about you. If you do that, that is going to skip backwards so fast you won't even feel it.
I know. Hey, I can't. It's the tool. I've got this much pole to work with.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, sometimes lack of
Get your
experience.
get your bevel out against the side, Jay.
I have.
No, you're not. It's kicking. I can hear it.
Yeah, that's
Either
because
that
the
or
edge is down there, the bum's down there, and it's hitting it.
Right. Well, get your scraper in and take it out of the way.
Not me.
If something's in the way, remove it.
Oh, I don't like this tool now.
Good day, JP. How are you? JP Woodworks in the chat, Jay.
How you going, JP?
You just missed me yelling at him, JP. Oh, good day, Wayne. Wayne, the wood turner's in as well.
How you going, Wayne? Did someone's live just finish?
Yeah, it looks like most of those that are in are north of the equator.
Yeah, the JP's from the UK, Wade from the UK. Not sure where Barley's from.
Well, I think I know where John's from, because I was, as a kid, brought up in Brantford and Hamilton. I think he's off 401, just a little northeast of there, outside of getting the northeast side of Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, he's up in Canada somewhere. Good
Right,
day, Mark. Mark, the gentleman wood turner. Right, how's that, Joe? You got relief down in there now?
Yeah. How you going, Mark?
Right. Just keep taking it down an inch at a time from the top, all right, until you get it down to the thickness. So that you don't weaken the walls too much and it starts getting some wobbleosity.
Didn't I send it to Mark? No, I didn't. There we go. Look at that.
Look at what?
Nothing for you. There you go, Mark.
Good day, Mike. Midnight Joker's in.
There you go, Mark.
It's done.
Oh. Don't put your hand over that, you. God, you've no safety at all, have you?
No, I don't reckon so. It's finally done.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, getting pretty good at doing that.
Thanks. I'll get better at wood turning soon too.
Yeah. Right.
She's pretty subtle, isn't she? What?
Yeah, John was saying, Bob, that Hamilton is about 2 hours southwest of him.
Yeah.
Nice backstage.
What was that?
Mark is backstage.
All right.
Howdy.
How's it going?
Yeah, not bad.
Evening.
We're going to see this monster finish tonight then?
Hell yeah.
We certainly
Good
will.
man.
What? Now,
I'm
Jay,
not stopping until it's
listen
done.
to what I say. Sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
I said I'm not stopping until it's done today.
No, right. Now, only do an inch down from where you left the other inch before, all right? Don't keep going all the way down or you'll get it weak and then it will start oval. It'll go oval, you'll have a catch and that'll be the end of everything. So
right,
just work on the top 2 inches at the moment.
Oh, so don't worry about scraping it out then.
No, not yet.
Hi, everybody in the chat.
No blood tonight, Jay.
Hell no. I'm the only one that drives in this house. I have to drive myself to the hospital.
No, don't take any out of there. Come down to the bottom of the inch there where it's thick. No, just out a bit. Right, start from there and go down. Pick your thickest spot and work on it. Just close the flute a little bit. Jay, it's too open. In other words, rotate it to the right, clockwise a bit. Right. Now keep working on that section until you get it down to the thickness you want. Have a feel and see how it's going.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you've still got about 3/4 of an inch by the look of it.
Well, maybe on that side, but not that side.
Right, okay, we'll leave it at that and go down, do the next inch down.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Otherwise, you go back, you go fly.
Wait, wait.
And be careful you don't run into solid wood.
Yeah, there.
No pressure, Jay. You got two masters watching you.
Thanks.
Now, what's happening now is you're running into the solid timber and you've got no bevel support, so it's kicking back, it's looking for it.
Yes.
And no, slide, right. Put your tool in there. Put your tool inside the bowl. Now put the back of the heel of the bevel against the outside edge.
Yeah.
Now move it down. Now pivot around your hand to take that end bit out. Lock it with your thumb and forefinger. And you've got to move the handle around towards you.
I don't even know what you're on about. Oh no, I kind of do, but
Yeah. Open the flute out a fraction. Work chin towards the centre of the bowl into fresh air.
Starting to piss me off, to be honest.
Yeah, I know that stuff. Right, that's it. What you're trying to do is reduce that lump so it's not running into a solid bit of timber. Jay? Jay?
Yeah.
Put me on the full screen for a minute.
I was going to put the scraper in
No,
there.
what
And get bottom out.
Yeah, no, wait on. I'll show you what I mean. No, I'm going to persist with it. But getting frustrated. It's
hot as hell
Right.
too.
Here's one I prepared earlier for you. What's happening is you've got your timber down here like this, and you're running the gouge into it, and it's got no bevel support up there. It kicks back. It's looking for support. So you bring it down here to there, then lock it with your thumb and forefinger here, and swivel it around that way. So as you're slicing that off across like that.
Yeah, I kind of was doing that. I took off the edge a little bit by skimming it a bit lighter than trying to take the big chunk that I was trying to take.
Yeah, you've just got to take light cuts, and what you do is you form that down so that it forms a little bit of a cone. They're not running into the heavy weight of the timber, particularly with an overhang you've got over the tool rest at the moment. Rightio. Nick me off and put you back up there again.
All right, sure. Gonna be 33 here today.
Yeah, it's only 19 here at the moment.
That was our nighttime weather.
Yeah.
Well, just wait a while. In a couple of months, you'll be complaining about the heat.
Well, that's right.
I'm complaining about it now.
At least
Right,
it ain't
just feel
England.
the
Give it
thickness
5
of that.
minutes, it'll change.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melbourne's like that.
Robo, you're farther south than Jay, aren't you?
Okay.
You're
Sorry,
farther
what was that,
south.
Bob?
You're farther
Yeah.
south than
Yeah.
Jay. So you have
Yeah,
more
well-
humidity being near the ocean.
No, not really. Not really. We're days of high humidity, but because we have got the ocean close to us, it has a moderating effect on temperature changes to a large extent, like a big heat sink.
Well, yeah, that'd be true. The other side of the ocean is the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, if you keep going far south from there after Tasmania, you run into icebergs. How's the thickness going there, Joe, at the bottom of that thin section there?
That's all right. So it's fatter, if anything.
All right. Just remember, Jay, bevel is king. Lose the bevel, you lose the cut.
We'll just stick with the bloody scraper.
Well, you can if you like. You're starting to get a lot of overhang over that tool, and you're cutting it the wrong way, as I said earlier on. And I'll have a shot at you here. A longer tool rest would be helpful too.
Jay, do me a favor. Remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 60 centimeter industrial fan right behind me, kind of chilling me out a little bit.
Yeah. Stop holding your breath.
Yeah. I thought that would have been a good thing for some people.
Damn it. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Just relax.
Yep. Oh, you're lucky it's not JP telling you what to do, Jay. He'd be telling you to get your carbides down in there.
I can still ban people.
That gives you a king complex.
Sorry, JP. I had to get that little dig in there.
But
Sorry, he was talking to
I'm
JP.
just apologising to Jay. I said to JP, I had to get that little dig in there.
he's most probably gone. He's got his stuff. He's got his his stuff for his memes and stuff. You know.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't got the kahunas to tag me in it though.
Didn't hear that.
He's just baiting them.
I said he hasn't got the kahunas to tag me in it.
Yeah. Right, go and sharpen it, Jay. How's it starting to feel?
Oh, it's better. The ripples are starting to slowly come out of it.
Yeah,
It's just
good.
it's just here now. That's where I stopped with the bowl gouge.
Yep. No, just to explain to you, Mike, what was happening was he's gone. I'll just change cameras again, right on. I've still got it set up from last night, so come on, you my little train. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can see very well there. So can you just mute for a second, please? Thank you. What's happening, Mike, is he's got down to about there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, up in the little bit up in the corner there. He's got down to about there, and there's a solid bit of timber out there like that, where it goes down into there. And the chisel was running into the end of that and kicking, it was hitting the nose of the chisel and forcing it back against the side. What I was trying to get him to do was move the chisel around, keeping the bevel in, the heel of the bevel in, just to form a little cone, if you like, taper on that, so that it didn't have to keep kicking back against it. Yeah, so basically, yes, they were caused by a step inside the bowl. I wouldn't worry too much, Jay, about how thick it is at the bottom. Oh, good morning, Steve. Temper
Hello,
board
Steve.
settings is in.
How you going, Steve?
Now, Jay, you should be just working on getting the ripples out now, not making them bigger unless it's too thick still.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the background, Steve, I think we've got, I think Wayne's still there and JP might be there. No, you should only be removing what you need to now to get an even surface across the top. Just check down to the bottom there to see how thick it is.
Yeah, it's
No,
getting
not there.
there.
I mean against the outside. Sorry?
Oh, that line there is where I stopped with the bowl gouge. That's why I come up so high with the scraper, so I can try to meet that.
Yeah, how thick is it down near the base? Not the base, but the wall thickness.
Yeah. It's still thicker, but only by about 0.5 centimetre.
Yeah, right.
Compared to
Don't
this
go
bit
any
here.
further then, or you'll end up with serviette ring.
I've never made one of them.
What, serviette ring?
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm showing my age, but I reckon we turned about 2,000 of them when I first started.
Well, one
they used
pole,
to
you
be
just
very,
put
very
along and cut
popular.
it all. Chop, 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 chop. So I'll just go
Sorry,
back
what
in
was
now,
that?
yeah? I said, was that just one long hollow pole that you just went chop, 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 chop?
No, not as simple as that. Wish it was. Yeah, no, don't use your bowl gouge. Keep using your scraper. Now, you don't want to be taking too much out down there because you're getting thin. Take it out of the thick section up halfway up the bowl where the bowl gouge ended. There, yes. Hello, Dr. Bob's on a recruiting drive again. The Detroit area wood turners are going to end up with more international members than it's going to have state members, right?
Yep, well, as it is, we have a good half a dozen that belong to our club from the Windsor area up to Sarnia and that in Canada. They just, when the border was open, they just would get in the car and drive over to the meeting. Even Customs kind of got to know them monthly. But we've always had that across the border from Windsor, because Windsor doesn't have a club.
Yeah.
And it's more the merrier. And being online, we're not limited by boundaries except planet Earth.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Yes, good.
Jay, you should be concentrating just on that area there if it's thicker, all right? Don't worry, you can soon blend it in with the rest of it afterwards. G'day,
Hiya,
Steve.
Steve.
Steve Combs. I'm not,
Hey,
never
Steve.
sure whether it's Coombs or Combs.
Combs.
Check your thickness down near that bottom again, Jay.
What?
Switch it off and check the thickness down near the bottom. You shouldn't be operating down there at all.
Pretty sure there was like an inch or so left, but I'll check it.
No, not worried about the depth of it, the thickness where the base meets the side in the transition there.
It curves down. It doesn't go. It stops about. Oh, I can't show you that. Anyway. It's fatter. It's fatter than this part.
But the bottom on the edge there is fatter than.
Yeah, but only by about that much, you know.
Oh, you went through a rubber tube before.
Yep.
So, Steve Combs.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Steve. I hate mispronouncing people's names.
Well, not like me, Robbo, calling somebody by the wrong name
Sorry?
completely. Not like me calling somebody
Yeah.
by the wrong name completely. For a whole life.
Oh. Poor old
You mean you
Leona
weren't
nearly
a
jumped
double
down the.
agent?
No, Leona nearly jumped down the microphone the other day because I called her Fiona.
No.
Yep.
We knew it was coming.
Can't help it with this thing.
I know. That just increases the odds. I wish I could just reach out and hand you one. I've got several that are longer. I made them.
I got given one, and the pole's too fat, so I've been slowly but surely grinding the pole down, and then I realised that the pole's actually that much too long, so I now have to cut the bloody thing off. So
Yeah.
I'm no good at metal work and grinding. I don't really have the hand strength for it, so it takes me ages to do it.
The sad part here is I've got about 4 or 5 rests that would suit that I don't use over here.
Me too.
soon as this COVID stuff is out of the way, I'll see a trip to Adelaide in my future. Jay, what you can do, so as you're not right near the end of that rest, is angle the tool across. So just turn it off for a minute and I'll show you how. Yeah, like that. That's it. And make sure you don't go over the centre line. Because you've got about 2 or 3 inches of cutting surface on that scraper. Yeah, I found that out, Steve, I tell you. In no uncertain terms. Yeah, I had the same thing, Steve. I've been dealing with a bloke for 25 years, and I always called him Clyde. And anyway, one day I was talking, and his employee came in, and he said, "Oh, Martin, can you help me with this?" I said, "Is your name Martin?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You've never corrected me from calling you Clive." He said, "Oh, well," he said, "I knew who you were talking to, so it didn't matter." But I was most embarrassed about it. Yep.
What?
Robo, while we were in Nam, because of what I did, I was known as Bob Barton, Father Bob Barton. And I'll tell you, after using that for 3.5 years continuously and getting home again, I rarely answered to my own name. It took time to get used to it. I know it's stupid, but
sort of the same as me. I've been Robbo. I used to be. Can you just mute that for a second, please, Joe? Sorry. When I was younger, I used to be Young Robbo, because my dad was known as Robbo as well. And I've had Robbo for since I can remember. And my mother and my wife are generally the only 2 people that call me by my right Christian name. And my mother can put 3 syllables into it. So can my wife on the odd occasion. Instead of just Ian, it's Ian. Yeah. And I know my mother's really mad at me when she goes, "Ian Charles."
yeah, I know that feeling.
I'm lucky in that respect. I haven't got a middle name.
You mean MI5 won't let you tell anybody?
I just don't have one. My brother doesn't either.
No, I get being a researcher at the university, and then later working for the feds. Everybody, they would call me Dr. Elliott, and I'd say, no, just Dr. Bob's fine when I'm not wearing a suit. And they kind of kept up with that. But that was the rules at the university. If I was wearing suit and tie in front of a group of people in a lecture hall, it was Dr. Elliott. But since we were on a first name basis with a lot of the students in the research lab, it was usually first names, but they wouldn't allow that. I had to still use my title. They said it was belittling if I didn't. But then again, that's a long time ago.
Well, I must admit, I used to do a lot of demonstrations and things in schools, and with the kids, I'd always say to them, right, you can call me Mr. Robertson, Mr. Robbo. I said, and that's fine, you know. So
Hi, Bailey.
back again, Bailey.
Yeah, I used to say you can call me anything but late for a meal.
Oh, that's right. That's a given.
I lived next to my next door neighbour for 5 years. Dave. Lovely bloke. My dad came round one day and I said, "Oh, Dave, this is my dad. Don. Don, this is Dave." And Dave just looked straight at me and said, "You do know my name's Harold."
Oh,
I was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" He said, "Well, I didn't want to embarrass you." I said, "Oh, so you waited until my dad was here?"
yeah, but when I was being treated for PTSD after Nam, but they didn't call it then, it was shell shock. They would call me by all sorts of things with rank and which rank, because I had a different rank. And it was very confusing. And when I tried, I couldn't explain it to them why I answered to the others because it never happened, under oath.
Yeah.
What do you mean just call you Father Bob? Oh, just an old nickname. But you're too young to be a father.
I'll go get this right now. Hi, Tim. Who's not Terry?
I must have missed that one coming in. Sorry about that.
TF Turning.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, not Terry.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I reckon your surname would be best to Twaddle, wouldn't it? We are just about at the end of the battle.
And now for the fun part, standing.
Yeah.
And am I crazy? Yeah. I'll admit to it. So, Mark, how many lives have you been on today?
I have an earworm today.
So you've had a good chance to do some turning.
I did have a good chance. I wasted the chance. I went shopping instead. I haven't been in the workshop today. I did too much yesterday.
Yeah, I find my shop is a place of solace. I can go out there and I have high-speed internet out there, wireless, and I can take my tablet and set it up and watch or listen to a movie while I'm turning or standing or repairing a tool.
must be getting close, Jay.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in the world are you then, Tim?
Sorry, what was that, Mark?
I was talking to Tim,
Yeah.
Oh, right, sorry.
just asking him where in the world he is.
Have you got rid of the lump down the side?
Yeah, pretty much. Still that bit of a
Right.
ridge there. But can I come down with
So
the
just
bulb
mark
out?
it. No. Mark it with a pencil and just take it off with a scraper, all right?
Wait.
All right,
Yeah, I
colour it
use
in.
that trick too. So I like using a carpenter's pencil when I mark up my bowls.
Yeah,
Any form.
yeah, carpenter's pencil. The carpenter's pencil works much better. Yes, it was, Steve. It was, I think it was bearing fruit about a month ago. At least it wasn't running water anyway. Now you should be just taking the pencil mark out, Jay, not anything else. To blend it in.
Yeah, I'm starting down a little bit and coming up.
Okay. Don't form another ridge further down.
Good live this morning, by the way, Robbo.
Thank you.
We need to put a fund together to get some more cameras for them. Or maybe a studio light or two.
Anyway,
That's
I
salty.
figured out the sound problem anyway, Mark.
And a Pro Edge.
Now, I had a Pro Edge and I sold it.
Sacrilege.
Did Mark volunteer to go in timeout?
I noticed. I must admit, I just went into Steve's before I went to bed last SK Crafts last night, and I saw the argument about Pro Edge and everything else. And I thought, will I, won't I? I thought, no, I won't.
Where's Sid when I need him?
As I said, as long as you get a sharp edge, it doesn't matter how you get there.
Amen. I'm an old fart. In my smock, I carry the new CBN cards. When I get the stuff out of the laundry and hang it in my shop, in goes the card into the pocket. That way, it's so easy to touch up an edge quickly.
See? Steve's got 2 pro edges. Good man.
In case one breaks, I'm waiting for parts.
No. But he's got one with the table. I bet he's got one with the table set up and the other with the bolt gouge jig. Because that screw is a pain. You keep undoing all the time.
Oh, I know. And even though the spanner's fixed in place there, it never seems to go to the right place when you need it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'll say bad about it. They could make that quick release.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. Tim, up until about 4 years ago, used a grinder that was 40 years old.
Yeah, just after they came out, the Sorby U.S. Canadian salesman was doing his round of dog and pony shows with him, and he had like 4 of them in a van that he would set up at different club meetings and schedule for that, so you could play with them and see what they were like. And they were trying to get our local woodcraft people to take it on, because they do have the tools, but the way they buy to resell is kind of unique. They have to approve it by their corporate, and the Sorby man didn't know that. But they worked. The problem was they were all 220, so we had to carry a transformer with them, but the transformer they didn't sell. But when you opened the manual up, and it would void the warranty if you plugged it into anything except a wall outlet. So we questioned him by using a 220 transformer. Does that to 110? Does that void the warranty? And he kind of grimaced and said, "Well, technically it does. So you want us to buy something that for us to use voids the warranty?" I said, "I can't do anything about it. That's just the wording in
Well,
it."
It took over 18 months to get them to comply with Australian electrical standards before they could be released here. And that actually held up their sales a hell of a lot. Like, well, because of the internet and everything, everybody was reading about them. And like most wood turners, they think it's going to be a magic machine that's going to fix all their problems. And a friend of mine who owns a retail business selling wood turning gear had back orders for 18 months. I think he bought in about 30 and they were gone within a fortnight once they arrived and had been approved. But we got one very early in the piece that hadn't been approved. It was still 220 volt. Ours is 240, of course, but it worked pretty well on that. And yeah, it was just an interesting thing, you know, like they were advertising when you couldn't buy them.
Yeah, that's the problem. And the salesman here, the rep, was from Toronto, and he didn't realize there was that much of a difference. And the other gotcha was that he had brought them from Toronto in the back of his van, and he didn't declare them.
Oh,
Yes, so he couldn't take them back to Canada. So our club
Yeah, that's
club
quite
got a
true.
hold of one with another club, and then somehow that got migrated to, at that time, Windsor had a club, and it was loaned to them. But they normally just come across to ours because we're only a 20-minute drive from the border, if that much. So we don't
Yeah,
know what's ever
Tim,
happened to it
Tim,
because you couldn't buy parts, you couldn't buy belts. Nobody in the U.S. would stock them, and then we had to pay import tax on them. And then, that gets expensive when you can't buy the parts to use it or the accessories.
You're right, Jay?
Tim, that's
I'm
a
waiting.
good point.
Waiting for a gap so I can ask a question.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, no offense to anyone, but it's hard to
Okay.
get a word in edgeways sometimes.
Yeah,
Just
all
tell
you
us
got to
to
do is
shut up.
yell at Jay and I'll shut him up for you. Yeah.
I'll do something wrong if you want. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got a couple little gouges along here. Can I just go along with the bowl gouge? Go down there.
Yeah, all right, but it's a nice gentle cut and make sure you have that bevel rubbing or you're going to run into problems because you're going against the grain.
Yeah.
Tim, that's a good point. Like, if you set your grinder up the same centre height as your lathe, as I said in the live, then it's an automatic thing to get the right angles on the tool straight away anyway. So, and that's the only reason I've got jigs and things too, Steve, is that I had a couple of blokes that I could not teach to hand sharpen to save my life, and I actually refunded their money. But that's the only reason I got jigs too. And then, of course, when I was demonstrating sharpening and everything, I had to buy all the rest of the garbage. So, yeah, I've got a good collection of jigs and things around there. But the jigs definitely make it easier when you're trying to teach somebody because you're keeping a consistent edge on their tools all the time. Yeah, he's only the host, so why should we worry? Just
I thought
remember to
this
back
was
off the cut, Joe, or you'll end up with another ridge further down. Then after a while, Tim, what actually happens is that you can just automatically set your angle no matter where the grinder is. You just get into a habit of doing it. No, it hasn't actually, Steve. I'm actually surprised at that it hasn't moved yet. It's still maintained its roundness, if you like.
Yeah, I've been quite surprised by that.
It's starting to crack well, though, I must admit.
Yeah. Well, this is my third night. Isn't it third night? Here, Wormy? Here, Wigan? And it hasn't moved.
Yeah, yeah. Right, how did it go, Jay? Did you get that ripple out of it?
I don't know. I haven't looked yet.
Amber's been busy.
Oh, hi.
yeah.
Very nice, Amber.
That's, thank you. It was just plyboard and Jay's stains. One's an alcohol and one's a water stain. So you don't notice that, but you kind of see when they're together, maybe 2 different colours. Not much difference, but yeah. Busy little bee.
All right. It's cake eating time.
Is this have your cake and eat it too?
Yeah. Yeah, I need it.
But you can't share it. Mark needs a piece too.
Oh, does he?
I can't eat it, so
I can force it. I can force it through the camera if you want. I can try. You might not be able to see anything afterwards, though.
yeah, if you want to see me choke to death.
You got a blender, you can liquefy it.
Oh, that'd be gross.
Jay, that's how I eat all my food.
Do you? Do they
Yeah.
have to? Have you ever tried?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried blending a steak?
I've tried
Yes, thanks. Yeah.
steak
Where
milkshake.
the
Oh,
Yeah.
where the blender that was supposed to have a mincer blade for it. So we decided to try that. Yeah, nick off, Jay. You tempted little mongrel.
about time I got you back, you biscuit eating
Young.
bandit.
And anyway, we put a bit of steak in, and then you could pour it out fair dinkum. Jesus. So it ended up in the stew. Steve would like to see Amber's pyro again, please.
Pyro,
Oh, which one?
Steve.
Yeah, what one? All of them.
The little
There you go.
flower things.
Oh, look. There's more. Mm.
Oh, what's the phrase? What's the phrase you use? Rack off.
Yeah, or bugger off. You
Bugger
bastard. You can say that.
So,
You'll do this, Amber.
Well,
Either that or you can use-
understand, Mark.
Sorry?
If you live in a country, the water goes backwards down a toilet. What do you expect?
Yeah. Well,
It bends
I
the
asked-
wrong way.
I asked Blair to show me the toilet flushing
That's
the
a
other
good,
way. And
that's a
it
good
doesn't.
shot of Amber feeding her face.
I know, right? How naughty.
That was a
Well
good
done,
shot of Amber feeding her face.
Yeah. Stop repeating
Are they
yourself.
the ones you wanted to see, Steve?
That there is the metho, and that one there is the
Can't see
water.
your finger, dear. They can't see which one you're pointing at.
Alcohol, and water stains.
I like the alcohol one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
why
so do
Mark likes the alcohol
Yeah,
one.
it goes into the drain
Oh,
easier.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't, like that little speckle, there's all the little speckles all through it. That is actually the mica powder that didn't burn. So in the sun, that looks really cool. Then I done my hand.
My hand.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
And my
That looks
lion.
like one of those henna tattoos.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be, yeah. And then that's my lion.
Rah.
Actually, I thought the other one looked like the Arabian type fretwork that they do over doorways and things like that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I like that one.
Hmm. So that's all I've done for today.
Very talented.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No.
I must admit, I like alcohol stains. Water stains never seem to. They raise the grain of the timber for starters a lot, and they never seem to penetrate as much as what the alcohol ones do.
Well, I
Besides
got,
which, they smell good, so you're feeling good.
So, sorry for poking that in your face, Mark. I don't normally eat in front of the camera, but Robbo does it so much I had to pay him back with something nice and juicy, you know?
Hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah, the worst part is that I haven't got anything out there at the moment.
That's even better.
I shall just go off camera and sob quietly.
No,
Bastard.
you use my expression, Mark. Go into a corner, assume the fetal position, and sob quietly.
That's it.
Don't leave
They
your
have a name
microphone
for that.
And
I have a question.
the other saying that you could have used, there, Mark, is when he put that there and go, "Oh, what fair dinkum?"
Actually, Robbo,
Like I said the other day. Fair dinkum covers.
I need you to send me a list
Oh,
of all the phrases that I can use for my Aussie live.
gee. It'd be like the Encyclopedia Britannica, I tell you.
Have you got a couple of weeks, Mark?
Yeah, probably.
We can Google Aussie slang. I mean,
Yeah,
the
but I want to
pages
make sure
go on and on and on.
I want to make sure it's
And
right.
And then the part I don't get is what is understood in one part of Australia as a phrase is different in another. And you could get your face slapped by a girl yet in another.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
No, not really. I must admit I travel over a lot of Australia during the year, and I've never come across that. Now, the difference between America and Australia, yeah, like
Hi.
if you said, give him a pat on the fanny, you get slapped by a girl in Australia because it means something totally different out here. And
It's the other
I
end.
think.
It's same here.
Now. I'm just making sure everyone was listening.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Bye, Amber.
I didn't hear what was been going on anyway. There's too many things. Yes, Tim, Aussie Dashcam is very descriptive sometimes.
A little too descriptive. I reckon I could sand that. Oh, you can't see that. Oh.
Well, just remember, because it's wet, that sanding is going to be, you're going to go through a bit of sandpaper, all right?
Yeah. Go through a bit of patience too.
It's gonna clog up.
Yeah, that's another one, Steve. Yeah. Don't tell an American you're going to smoke a fag.
You go to jail for that. You can't discriminate anymore.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Tim, thongs are different here. Thongs do not refer to underwear; they refer to what goes on your feet, what Americans call flip-flops.
I'm glad you explained that. I was trying to figure that out.
Sorry, Mark, I can't hear you properly because of the noise.
It's all right.
Oh well, excuse me.
No, I said I'm glad you explained
Right.
that. I was trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah, no, well, thongs in America are underwear.
Yeah,
Well, they're a bit of string, really. They must be probably uncomfortable, I reckon.
thongs are underwear here too.
Yeah. It's rather interesting, the different idioms of countries, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's called linguistics.
Friend of-
It was my favorite class.
A
for-
friend,
to me, it's recreation in college. I took it two semesters.
a friend of mine was at the Utah Symposium a few years ago, and he sort of had to make a bit of a speech about things and this and that. What he didn't realise that he insulted 3/4 of the audience just by being an Australian because of the way he worded things. Like he thought he was being funny, but they didn't think that. He's never been invited back.
It's like between us and, well, of course, England and Australia, not so much Canada because we're kind of bound by having common TV, a lot of it, is the fact that we're two countries separated by a common language.
Yeah.
But I always say, you know, we gave it to you. You guys broke it.
Amen.
I like,
That's what they say
I
at
like
school.
that, Tim.
I get a kick out of it. They're going to teach people English in school. Well, but we don't speak English anymore.
No,
Except when it comes down to things like law, contract law. It seems to be kind of set in place.
there's English, and everything else is wrong. Except here in Cornwall. And then there's Cornish, and then there's English, and then there's everything else.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And as most of you know, I was taught by a Yorkshireman, and I just about need an interpreter for the first month of listening to him, I tell you. You got your hopes up, did you, Steve? Steve just said, Jay, I got a little freaked out in the States when a young lady asked me to zip up her fanny pack. I thought I'd pull. Now, I actually find it very interesting how, I must admit, the Australian language has changed a great deal in the last 30, 40 years. If you listen to like news broadcasts and things that were done 30, 40 or 50 years ago, our voices have actually changed a lot, to a large extent. And it's rather sad, and because we're losing a lot of our Australian language because it's politically incorrect now.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Like you can just about be taken to court if you're talking to some woman and you say, "Oh, look at that Sheila over there," and that's supposedly derogatory these days.
Same here, Robbo. We're
Not
not allowed
allowed
to
to
call
wolf
them.
whistle anymore.
We're not allowed to call them birds anymore.
No, not allowed to wolf whistle them, and it's just about an insult to say to them, "Oh, you are looking very nice." They take it as a bloody offence these days. You can't compliment somebody unless because and I've just about given up opening doors for women these days because I've had a few slammed in the face.
Yeah, me too. And that's hard for me to get over. It was something drilled into me since I could almost walk.
Yeah, well, that's the same
Being
with me.
polite to
Like
women.
I about 12 months ago, I was going into a building and it was a fairly heavy door. And anyway, I held it open and she stood in the doorway and said, I'm capable of opening it myself, you know. I said, okay. So I slammed it shut and locked it and said, suffer, baby.
Yeah.
I was brought up the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not just a gentleman with Turner. I'm actually a gentleman.
No. Well, I try to be most of the time.
I stand up when a lady comes in the room.
Yeah.
I'll offer them my chair.
And
I'll open a door for them.
and my
Amen.
yeah, my wife says that I'm too polite because even around the house I say please and thank you whenever she does anything for me or this and that, you know. She said, you don't have to. I said, dear, I do have to. I said, you asked me a question, so I'll answer it with a please or a thank you.
Yeah, things are changing. But Mark, you being a gentleman, can you tie a bow tie?
I can tie a bow
Yes,
tie.
I can.
I can tie a Windsor knot.
Well, yeah. But most people can't tie a real bow tie. They have to have a clip-on or a hook.
Oh, I can tie a bow tie.
Windsor knot on a tie, double Windsor knot.
Yeah, double
Well,
Windsor.
we call it a full Windsor here. Half Windsor and full Windsor. But I learned that in high school. Actually, middle school, to go to church on Sundays. Not during the summer months, but during the fall and winter, young men always wore a suit and tie.
Yeah, no, well, we had to learn to tie a tie to go to school, so we wore ties at school. But I must admit, in the last 30 years, I've tied 2 ties to go to weddings. That's been about it. I don't think you want to clothe it around your neck, Tim. And yeah, Mike, I agree with you.
I used to have to wear a
Whining's
tie
becoming
when
the
I drove
normal
my
thing.
bus. Every day at work, I had to wear a tie.
Well, when I was running the research lab at the university, we had to wear ties. Even if we had a sports shirt on during the summer, if you had a formal class where you had students sitting in desks or in a lecture hall, you had to wear a shirt and tie. That was just, it was accepted. Had to be that way.
Yeah, John Ann,
You might not get tenure.
I totally, John, I totally agree. I think everybody's too sensitive these days. You can't have a joke with anybody.
I think we've become too litigious. We have too many attorneys, and they've got to have a source of income.
My wife actually hates the women's liberation movement because she said we're not being treated with respect anymore. We're not even being treated as equal. So, and Steve, geez, you'd want to know how to tie a tie, I'd reckon, if that was the case.
Yeah, the other thing I miss is that being able to have people have manners, young kids. They're just not taught, at least the manners that we were taught.
Oh, I don't know how many times that I've held a door open for somebody and they just walk through it and don't even say thank you or anything like that anymore. It just seems to be. And people in shops, when they get served, yeah, I want. And then when it's add up, they just walk out, don't say please or thank you or anything else,
Yeah.
I've always
How's
said
things
this.
that getting, Jay? But I'm sorry, Mike.
Right.
How
Oh,
thin
it's
is
not
it
too
getting,
bad.
Jay? Yeah, just be careful.
Yeah, I've just got some little ridges to get out here. That's all, right there.
Yeah, how big are they?
I don't know if they'll sand out, but
Will 60 grit take them
Well,
out?
hit it with some 80 grit paper and just try it.
all right.
Sometimes the negative rake scraper will leave little lines down it. And you don't worry about it, they just sand out. No, manners seem to have gone out the door these days.
I always say there's three things that society has lost: manners, respect, and fear of authority.
Yes. Yeah, I think it stems back that a lot of younger people these days have no respect for themselves. So how the hell can you expect them to have respect for anybody else?
Yep.
I
Well,
admit
I
that's
have
one
heard.
advantage. It's one advantage of getting a bit older and going grayer, that people in public transport and that do get up and offer you a seat, and I'll say, no, I'm right, I'll just stand there.
That's one thing I've noticed since coming out of hospital, because now I walk with a walking stick. People do make allowances for you.
Geez, I know some places in Melbourne, they'd kick the bloody stick away from you.
Oh, yeah. They could try.
I used to have a little bit to do with the school for the blind, and I used to go out with some of the blind people, and it's amazing. A lot of people had tried to help them, but they didn't realise that they were hindering them more than helping them. And I've got a few friends who are paraplegics as well in wheelchairs, and I always say to them, look, do you need a hand to get there or this? They say, no, I'm right. Or if they are stuck, they'll say, no, look, I just need a bit of hand to get around here. But I always ask first. Never assume that they want help.
Yes, because that
Oh,
has a
Blair's
problem
there.
with their self-esteem.
Yeah. Jay, Blair's want to be let in. He's whinging in the background. Oh, he said please. That's okay.
Gotta be polite.
Howdy, Blair.
Hey guys, how we doing tonight?
Not bad, thank you.
Day 4 of the saga.
Day 4 of the saga.
Lord of the Balls.
Well, it's a beautiful bowl. It deserves good treatment.
I'm just worried the way he's going there, he's going to go right through the side of it.
Hey Mike, how you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Midnight Joker.
Oh, sorry, Mike. I thought you said Mark.
Oh, hi Mark.
Hi, Blair. I'll shut up.
Well, Mark has a problem. He can't see down where you are.
Ah.
You're over his head.
Yeah,
Blair. Or
Keep
Blair's
going,
over.
Steve. I'm in.
Mark's over Blair's head.
Keep going, Steve. I'm interested in what happened there.
He didn't even say ouch.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Oh, that's internet delay.
Yeah.
Oh, Mountain View Turning. Mountain View Turning has just joined as well, Jay.
Mountain View.
Hi, Mountain View.
Must be Chris.
How you
Yeah.
going?
Hey, Steve. And is it Tom or Terry for TF Turning?
Tim.
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 Hey, Tim. So
That's what I've been calling it.
I gotta apologize for last night, kind of.
That was my fault.
My phone died, and then I went and I switched to my iPad, and I actually sat in backstage for probably a good 10 minutes. And I said, okay, well.
Look, you got Facebook Messenger. You can just call Robo.
I know.
It doesn't cost anything. You can call Jay. It doesn't cost anything.
He didn't actually want to be there. He's just saying. he
Jay
made
doesn't
a-
answer.
No, I caught Jay one night. He texted me, and I didn't dawn on me the time difference, so I called him to answer his question.
That's okay. I hung out with Tammy, and we watched some scary stuff. So, Mark, Tammy's my wife.
That
Oh, cool.
that reminds me of a few years ago. My mum and dad were in England for nearly 2 years, and I was guardian of the family over here. Anyway, I was handling all the money. They didn't, very old fashioned. They didn't like having credit cards, but they had a credit with them to do their grocery shopping and everything instead of carrying cash around. Anyway, apparently went to Tesco in England somewhere, and they bounced it. They said there's not sufficient funds in the account. Dad rang me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "I went to Tesco to get some stuff." And this is how long ago it is. It wasn't a direct line. I had to book it. And anyway, I said, "Well, Dad, it's like this. You're just spending too much of my inheritance. So, buggy, I'm not issuing any more cash anymore." Well, he laughed. He said, "Right, now tell me what happened, you know?" And I said, "To be quite honest," I said, "I just couldn't get to the bank today to transfer the funds in there." I said, "I didn't realise you're going to be spending that much in a day, you know." So anyway, we fixed that problem up. But yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was not amused, I tell you. Yeah,
Well,
that'd be
that's a
about right,
feature.
Steve.
I proposed a feature to the Facebook people that do Messenger is like to do what it's happening now on YouTube when a lot of the people post that a turning program where they're going to go and be online at a specific time. It in a lot of cases will actually tell you what it is in your local time as you view it. At least here in the States, it will. So if you're
It does,
going,
it does everywhere.
but not all of them seem to show up. I see that more and more, but I propose that they do it for messenger voice. That they actually, if the moment that you try to call, it'll remind you that what time it is in their local time. Or making an option where you don't care, or you would like to be able to send a message that like call back in a few hours because I'm in bed sleeping. You know, an automated response that way. as more and more people are calling all over the world for free on it. The phone companies don't like it. But
Of course not.
I got a couple of good responses back from people of the Facebook team that are involved in that. The one drawback they had to work out bugs on is the fact that now in some parts of the world they're allowing multiple phone calls as video, simultaneous video chats to multiple people. So you could have up to 4 right now in some parts of the world and actually have all 4 see and talk to each other at once. But they haven't got all the software and servers in different parts of the world to support that yet.
Yeah, just getting back to Steve for a minute. I can understand that. The 3 of the 5 kids ended in the chairs ended up in tears. Like, by the same token, some people in bloody wheelchairs or these mobile scooters are ignorant mongrels too. Like, I had one woman in a supermarket that kept running into the back of my legs with one of these scooters. And 3 times I said to her, "Look, madam," I said, "please stay back a bit." She said, "Well, you've got to move forward." I said, "No, I don't." I said, "I'm sufficiently away from people." The 4th time she did it, I turned around and I said, "Listen, bitch, I've asked you nicely 3 times not to do it. Now, if you do it again, I'm going to pick you, all bloody 35 stone of you, and this scooter and turn you on your head. Do you understand that?" And she went, "Oh, oh, oh." 4 people behind her applauded.
Sometimes it's what it takes.
I just had a stupid question for you and Jay, Robo. Being from Australia, do you know how to throw or do throw boomerangs that come back?
I do. Don't know about Jay. So. Yeah, no. I had a job up in the Northern Territory where I actually worked on Aboriginal settlement for 3 months. And I was very, very privileged to actually go to a full-blown Aboriginal corroboree, which no white man is normally invited to. But they taught me how to throw a boomerang. And I had a lot of sticks for a little while, but after I got the knack of throwing it, it's in the angle it's launched at that's the big thing. And yeah, it's good when they come back. I must admit, it takes a bit of nerve sometimes to catch the things, though.
They hurt.
Oh, it does if you catch it the wrong way. Yes, Mike, watched your beating video earlier and just was fiddling with a worn-out 6-inch planer blade while watching this live. Yes, but you don't want to put too many little notches in it because it gets very, very hard to control, particularly if it's not an even sort of a thing. Yeah, I think that would be handy, Steve, knowing where the power switch is so you can just switch it off. I'd say about 3 or 4 would be the maximum at 3 millimetre, depending on the spacing. Like if you wanted to do 1/2-inch beads, that's probably a bit much, but 1/4 inch or 3/8 beads, 3 or 4 on the one blade would be all right. Another thing that makes a good beading tool, believe it or not, is a worn-out bowl gouge. What you do is you grind it straight across and use it upside down. other words, completely flat across the end. So you've got the two edges of the flute down here.
Hey, Jay, can you blow him up?
Not literally, I hope.
No.
I've tried to, Blair, but it doesn't work. Ah!
Oh, okay. Okay. So what you do when they get down to about there, about an inch or two from the flute, they're getting pretty useless unless you hand sharpen them. So what you do is you grind it straight across there or a slight angle back on the thing, and then you pick up the edges of the flute here and use that as a beading tool, because the flute will give you the shape. The parabolic ones give you a far better shape than the V. The U ones give a better shape still, but that's a good use for worn out bowl gouges. Yeah, that'll be the way I go too, Mike. Actually, just do it like that. Just make a single one. Because planer blades are high speed.
You grind it.
I was going to continue sanding, but I can't seem to sand out the forcing a bit at the end there. So should I just try and scrape it or just continue sanding?
No, just try and scrape it out. It doesn't matter if you get a little bit of a dimple in there if you make it fairly even, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, the mark's sanding out, Jay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'll be back in a minute.
Blair's got beer.
No, I don't.
You got. What is it?
It's ginger ale, and it's called Cock and Bull. They
Nice.
make Moscow mules with it. I just like the ginger ale because it's really spicy.
Yeah. We've got something over here called Krabby's alcoholic ginger beer. You'd like that. It's
Probably.
nice.
Hey, Jay, do you have a longer tool rest?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, you think I'd be using it?
It'd make your life a whole lot easier if you did.
I would if I had one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Tim. Five is the magic number. 5 bottles of Krabby's.
I thought 3 was the magic number. No more, no less. 5 is right out.
Not for Krabby's.
Oh. I was quoting Holy Grail.
Oh, yeah. The Holy Grenade of Antioch.
Mm-hmm.
Answer me these questions 3. What is your name?
What is your quest?
What is your favorite color?
Blue. No, green. Ah! Oh. I think definitely one of the most quoted movies in the world.
Gotta be.
Oh yeah. They had it on BBC website here this summer. It was hilarious. I've got a copy of it, but my copy is on cassette tape, and I haven't. Keep saying I'm going to finish transferring them, but now it's all online.
We are the knights that say nay. Bring us a shrubbery. I love Monty Python.
Bring out your dead.
Bidding.
But I'm not dead yet.
I'm getting better.
Warner, she's a witch. She turned me into a newt. A newt? I got better. I feel happy.
It's because what you're drinking has fermented.
Yeah. That's my favourite size, and that's just the flesh wound.
Yeah. And I wonder how many people are following that have no idea what the four of us are talking about.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. I
That's
think
really
we're all
good.
that age.
Look at the views in the chat. I'd say they probably all get it.
Oh, they do, yeah. Yeah. Well, we're all of that, round about that age, I think.
Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, you young ones.
The whippersnappers.
I fought in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberry.
You can tell a nerd if they can recite it end to end.
Oh,
And the fact that Graham Chapman was drunk in real life for the entire filming of that film. Properly off his head drunk.
some call me Sin.
Well, Steve Coons must be getting a bit lost because I must have dozed off for a minute because I've no idea what you're talking about.
Monty Python. Search for the
the
Holy
Holy-
Grail.
Quick, search for the Holy Grail, yeah.
I was watching BBC earlier today. It's kind of neat. I just go in and make some little changes in where I'm at in the world, and I can watch a lot of programs.
Tim the Sorcerer.
No, I used to love the Monty Python series too. Like their humour was right over the top.
Oh yeah, they were
Yeah.
well ahead of themselves.
Are You Being Served was another British comedy I enjoyed as a TV series.
Yeah,
Also being in a
the
store.
best of the Monty Python series, I reckon, was the Lumberjack song and the Fish song. I've got that on the computer. I quite often put it on just for a laugh.
All right, Steve. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers,
See you,
Steve.
Steve. Thanks for
Yep.
coming in.
I like the
See you
bookstore.
later, Steve. And good luck with your lockdowns, whenever they're coming.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to buy an argument.
Ministry of Silly Walks. Cleese at his best.
Another good, another good comedy series from Britain was Highland Pace.
Yes. We are the management.
Yeah.
There's one I really enjoy, but I can't think of its name. Like I haven't seen it in years. I got it on DVD somewhere. The Hotel Manager, somewhere up in northern England. Basil and
Faulty
his
Towers.
wife. Faulty Towers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basil? Basil?
That was filmed not far from here,
Cat?
where I live.
Cat?
Torquay.
Yeah, he kept trying, but he never could get it right.
Yeah, Red Dwarf was hysterical.
I've
I
actually
used to watch that all the time.
Yes.
I've actually stayed in a hotel that was like that.
One of the newer ones that I love is the IT Crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
I get that on the BBC through cable, and then from Canada we get it directly from the CBC in Windsor. And of one that really I think is fantastic out of Canada today is the Murdoch Mysteries series. It has
Oh, yeah,
brought
that's-
lot
that's a
of-
good
of
series, too.
income into the Toronto area.
Because it's a couple of days to go and it's your election, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
it's the 5th.
Guy Fawkes night. How appropriate.
Yeah.
I think they should carry out the plot, actually.
Yeah, just about everywhere. Just America.
Yeah, I agree. Australia's not much better. England, from what I read, is not much good either.
Yeah, we go into lockdown on Thursday
Yes, I know.
for a month.
Wow.
Well, we're just coming out of a lockdown. We had the first restrictions eased last Sunday, or Sunday before. Further announcement in a couple of days' time to allow more freedom for us, but yeah, it's been pretty tough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's just really crazy. I know people don't really understand some of what's going on that even live here. Like we had a group of people, a private militia, was going to burn our capital down, and they had ready to kidnap our governor because he disagreed with the president, or she did. The government caught it, the FBI did, and they caught several of the people that were involved up front, but there's still people in the back that supplied the money for them to do it. That's pretty bad, and they get plots to kidnap and kill a governor.
That's just so unnecessary.
Uh,
Yeah,
Just
But the president's dead. Stand down and be ready. And some people just took it the way they wanted to.
So what grid are you on now, Jay?
Oh, getting close to Yorkshire grit time.
Yeah.
240, good man. That's the only problem here. You're not expecting me to sing, are you?
No.
No, I
Good.
don't love musicals, and if you start, you can join Steve in timeout.
I know the words, but I ain't singing it.
All right. I'll let you off. Just this once, though, all right?
I just realised I just watched myself on YouTube when I talk. For anybody watching, if you think I'm talking to somebody over there, I'm not. Because my larynx is paralysed, my voice is actually louder if I turn my head to the left. But it makes me look like I'm talking to somebody over there, but I'm not.
I did wonder what you were doing.
Didn't have a clue.
I know it makes me look mental.
Hey, Scott's in. How are you, Scott?
Hello, Scott. Scott will sing it.
Right?
Blue Light Turner. Scott.
He's singing the gritty song.
Oh, yeah.
Is he?
He was in earlier on. Oh, that's no good, John. That's bloody bad luck.
Sorry to hear that, John.
Ow!
Scott, it's 10-3. What are you still doing up?
Yeah.
And you, Mike.
He might be on the late shift. Mike doesn't sleep. Mike's alarm clock tells him to go to bed, not wake up.
Yeah. But Mark, that's the same as me. I tend to lip read a lot, and I stare at people when they talk to me. Gets very unnerving sometimes for some people.
Oh, good on you, Scott. He's been watching for most of the show, apparently. Been busy in his workshop.
Yeah, I knew he was in earlier. I wasn't sure whether he'd gone out or not. Yeah.
Does he want to be on the mic?
Yeah, Scott, do you want to hear where? Be prepared, though, they're mental, this lot.
I go and watch. Yeah, no, I've been watching their lives for about a year. I've established that part already. You can send him a link.
Mark.
Hey?
No.
I said you could send him a link if you like, Mark.
Okay.
We're not mental, Mark. We're demented. There's a difference.
All right, Tim, if you're going to go, good night. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Tim.
Yeah,
Yes,
good
thanks for
night,
coming in.
please. Oh, Tim's going, isn't he? Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
see you later, Tim.
Oh, Tim, Scott says he would, but he's in bed. Just ignore that then, Scott. I'll send you the link.
Oh, thanks for the visuals.
Yeah, cheers for that.
I like the stripe 90 you've got on there, Scott.
At least you visualized him wearing a nightie.
Does help for one
Yeah, a
coat
bit
more.
different than what I wear to bed.
I think I asked the other night, Blair, whereabouts in the States are you?
Utah.
Oh, nice.
It's a beautiful state. Lots of mountains. Lots of
Yeah.
snow.
And a big lake that you can't
Great
drown
big
in.
lake that you can't drown
Cold, wet, slushy stuff.
in. Yeah, the Great Salt Lake is one of those lakes that you can lay down in and you'll just float.
Yep. Been there.
And it's all the little brine shrimp. They're just sitting there going, "You're not going down. You're not going down." It's just full of these little shrimp things, and it's.
Yeah, that was going to be the next accessory I was going to add on, actually, Steve.
What was that, Robo? Sorry.
Steve Coombs said, to be fair, I'm picturing him in a nightgown and cap with a little tassel on the end.
Yeah, I see that now too. Thanks.
The candle stuck to a bowl gouge.
He says it's not a Friday night, or it'd be something from Ann Summers.
Yeah.
What's Ann Summers?
An adult shop.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking of
similar
World
to
War II
your,
actors.
Like
similar
Victoria-
to, what's the one in
Victoria's
America?
Secret.
Like
Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
But raunchier.
Oh. See, the other name for lingerie is funderwear.
Underwear, yeah, that's good.
Gee, I think you started a group here that is a very interesting program. Next thing we know, we'll have to get you a Zoom license so you can have a lot more people for the night conversation.
You just can go in there and do it yourselves if you want. I'm signing in.
Yeah, John, good on you for doing that. But after meandering around hospitals for a while myself, I know you take nothing for granted.
Ain't that the truth?
And Scott, no ambulance is just as good as well. Sometimes you get called to a house or something and you never know what you're going to run into there either. Of a night
Yeah,
time.
I had to go through the EMT bit a long time ago after I got, it was what, 1971, 72, before there was such a thing as an EMT. But a group of us were really active in mountaineering for fun. And we had an instructor that was from the Swiss mountain search and rescue going to college in Northern California to get a doctorate. So we convinced him to teach us all about mountain search and rescue because we were all climbers and loved climbing. But we had nothing that compared to what he was brought up in. And it became quite a group and a social club. And we'd often go to get called by a fire department or whatever and go out. And since I had practiced repelling from helicopters when they didn't crash, that we started going down and bringing litter and Stokes litter and hauling people up. And they were saying, but only military do that. Well, we all used to be. But then they found, well, if we can't take the responsibility, well, they're going to die anyway if we don't get them out of here to a hospital.
Gee, Scott, sorry to hear that, man. Hope you're doing better now.
Yeah.
What?
Scott says that's why I'm off work at the minute. Did a really horrific job that made international news, has screwed with my head big time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Been there, done that.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, the fire brigade now out here, if they attend an MVA or a motor vehicle accident, the first thing that's dispatched is a chaplain, believe it or not, for the firefighters themselves on the rescue teams. They attend every accident.
Oh, John, that's terrible. Jeez.
It could be a terrible world, but you do a fabulous job,
Yeah.
Scott. And you too, John Ann. Massive respect. Bob, you were saying about doing your EMT training in 72. 72 was the year that we moved to America.
Yeah. I was in, at the time, Oregon and Idaho, just hanging out, climbing, trying to get my head back from the problems that being a POW in Cambodia. And they had a clinic there that were treating people that the VA sent me to. And one of the instructors happened to be a paramedic, and he loved climbing, and we all got involved of it. And as a group of 4, we ended up being 11 between Washington and Oregon and Idaho. And we enjoyed it, and we were able to get a lot of our anxieties away from doing it. And California here in the States passed the first EMT law.
It's melting.
Ah,
Yeah, it is.
Summer.
It says on the instructions to keep it in a place where it won't freeze. Not in South Australia. It's the opposite. Need to keep it in the fridge.
Keep it in the fridge.
Well, in the summer
72
here,
was a good year for
it
me.
melts. Mine melts all in the summer in the Detroit area.
Y'all haven't got Aussie weather.
No, but I have had someone not read the instructions and think it was a bread topping. Oh boy. Problem is, they were halfway through a piece of toast before I told them. After that, it stays in the shop.
Scott says that's the excuse for a beer fridge in the workshop.
Oh, I'd never
Yeah.
turn
I've
drinking.
got a,
Drinking, driving, and turning
I've,
are things that don't mix.
I've got a fridge in my workshop.
for your milk. For your milk and
Yeah.
your Coca-Cola.
No, I don't put Coke in the fridge. I like it at room temperature.
Yeah. Tastes gross either way.
Room temperature and flat.
Pepsi Max.
Basically.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's the only. Sometimes, Scott, that's the only thing that carries you through, isn't it? You know you made a difference.
Well, being a diabetic, drinking is just a very big no-no, other than a toast at a wedding or a salute at a funeral.
I use a lot of no sugar drinks, not diet drinks, but absolutely no sugar, full stop. For the same reason.
Oh, I just
Well-
drink it and inject extra insulin.
So all those
Right.
bickies you eat, Robbo, no sugar in it?
No, of course not. They're diet biscuits. That's my excuse anyway. No calorie biscuits.
I always have to look at the no carb for the diabetic. I look for that on them. There's a lot of biscuits like that. I will munch on them when I work. And iced tea is my favorite. I got addicted to that a long time ago. Probably the caffeine in the tea.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realise. I mean, I've only been diabetic for 15 months. But one thing I've been told, it's not the sugar that's the problem, it's the carbs.
Yes. But
Sugar we can
will,
deal with.
yeah, it'll spike it. That's the
Yeah,
problem. Sugar
but
will
you can-
spike
you
it up
can
and down.
You can deal with the spikes with the insulin. It's the carbs, because they're long acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They mess you up over a longer period.
Yeah. I use my glucometer. They've got right now 3 times a week is all the doctor wants, but it's tied to the internet and it goes right to my medical records at the VA, the Veterans Hospital. So within a minute or two, if it is out of kilter, I know it when I see it. And I know within the half hour I'm going to get a nasty video call.
3 times a week. God, I have to test 5 times a day.
I used to test daily, and actually twice a day, but I've got it under control to where 3 times a week, and they're talking about cutting it back to just once a week. Now I've lost a lot of weight too, so that's helped over the years.
Yeah.
But with COVID, I don't get the exercise, so it's walking to a shop and back, and that's about it. And that's not much at all. I have a temperature meter I have to shoot my temperature with, and it downloads to my medical file. And my wristwatch, Fitbit, it tracks how much I walk and my pulse, and it tracks that and it dumps it every day to my record. So It's interesting. I can log in
Yeah.
to it and look at it, and I can think, what was I doing then? Oh, that's why I must have been sitting there watching TV, and this is when I went to the shop. And what's this one?
No,
I have to think, oh, that's when I got
Right.
up to get something to drink and refill my cup and went in the house.
Yeah.
it's rather interesting, Bob, that about 10 years ago, I suppose, out here, they put forward the idea of having an identity card for everybody here. So everybody held it down. And yet, if you've got a telephone in Australia, they know more about you than your own mother does. And everybody these days seems to be the ones that kicked up the biggest stink were the younger generation. And they all wear Fitbit watches that transmit information and wherever you are. So I don't know why they're worried about the rest of it. Good evening, Eva. How are you?
She's just popping in and popping out.
Yeah,
How you going, Eva?
he's nearly finished it, Eva.
Believe it or not.
No, I learned a long time ago, John, that never take things for granted because it can change in an instant.
Jay,
Yeah,
can I offer some advice?
sure. Go for it.
Right. I was very fortunate. I had a personal lesson from Glyn.
Yep.
How to apply Yorkshire grit. You're better off applying it with a paper towel, and the paper towel you use to apply it is the first paper towel that you keep using for 2 minutes when the piece is spinning. So you put it on with a paper towel, wipe it all over the bowl, and then you use that paper towel for 2 minutes. And you don't
Yep.
change the paper towel.
All right.
And that works the grit in and makes it do its job. And then after 2 minutes, you can change to a clean piece of paper towel and keep wiping it in and out with that until it comes away clean.
Okay.
Yeah,
I only did it this way to
Triple E's
save
put
it
on
from
the
soaking
same way.
in to begin with.
Night, Scott.
All right, Scott.
I got a tub of that
Yeah,
Triple
good
E
night, Scott.
downstairs.
Thanks for
See you,
coming in.
Scott.
Sorry, what was that,
Yeah.
Mark?
I've got a tub of that Triple E downstairs. The U-Butte stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that was the original one. That's been around about 25 years.
Yeah.
It's good, but the only thing I don't like about it is it proper stinks. It's a really strong
No,
smell.
you might have had it sealed for too long.
Yeah, mine didn't.
Mine didn't
I got
smell.
it when I was
Well, mine
doing
doesn't
metal
smell, no.
polishing. I used the Triple E for metal polishing. Back in the day when I was learning metal spinning on a lathe.
Yeah, it probably smells of solvent.
It probably does now, yeah. Just give it a stir up and see how it goes.
Okay, try that.
Because what happens a lot of the time with the Triple E is that the waxes will come up to the surface. So you've got to stir them up, but don't stir them with anything metal or aluminium. Always use plastic or an ice cream stick is the best thing to use.
Yeah.
A wooden one.
Okay.
Yeah, I use a popsicle stick. That's the only thing.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to translate for the Americans. Popsicle stick, ice cream stick.
We know what you meant.
Yeah,
I know that.
today they don't even give you that. It's in a tube and you push it up from the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. I must admit, I don't mind those tubes. I like when they're nearly half melted and sucking the juice out of them.
Got to save the trees, but what's paper made out of?
bloody
Oh,
hell.
that's different.
Well,
They can have a choice. They have a choice. They can make paper out of hemp.
I
They
quite
could.
agree with saving the trees
So for
because
him, no,
if they save the trees, there's more bulb blanks for us.
That's it. Exactly.
you know, I must have been doing it for too long because I can actually walk through a forest now and say, geez, that's a nice tree, that. I don't convert it into board feet or bulb blanks or burls or crotchwood or anything else anymore.
Oh, don't you? I still do.
I got a friend that drives down the road. How the hell he hasn't had an accident sometimes where we got tree-lined roads? And oh, geez, nice burl on that one. Oh, a beautiful piece of crotchwood would come out of that. Oh, look, what do you reckon about under that with that twisted one, you know? He nearly runs off the road looking at her.
Yeah, I'll be glad, like everyone, when COVID's over. But one of the big reasons is where we live, because of budget cuts over the years, individual cities have dropped having their own arborists. So they contract out to a firm that'll do 2 or 3 cities worth of work. And we decided as a club to try to become friends with the company that got the contract for the Tri-County area because we wanted access to their wood yard. And we were able to do that. And then once you do that, we took the whole thing that drug dealers use and have used forever is get them addicted to something that they really fall in love with, and it was wood turning, and then they were on our side. So now when they keep the trees separated when they pull into their wood yard, and when there's you need walnut? Okay, how many do you want? And our club has its own sawmill, so twice a year we go to the wood yard with members that have want lists, and if they can't make it, we fill their want list for them and charge them a delivery fee, of which is modest, but it does go into a pot that buys tools and stuff for our classroom that we have in the building that we do our clubs in. We got like 8 lays now with full equipment and tools and all, and a lot of accessories. But that's how we get our wood, and we've got them to where they know what to look for. And burls, that's a big thing. They find them. They usually drop them off at the club's president's house or at whoever is running our shop at the time in order to get the burls locked up before someone throws them in a mulcher.
Oh, that's a sin.
Well, in Australia, if they're clearing roads out, it's all done by contractors. Like they cut our trees down to keep them underneath power line height. There's a mulcher right behind it. They mulch the whole lot.
Yep.
It's uneconomical for them to to keep it. And I've had people ring me up and say, "Oh, look, I've got an oak tree that I'm getting cut down. Can you use it?" And I say, "No, look, I'm sorry, I can't. But here's a list of clubs," and all the clubs just turn around and say, "No, not interested." So they're their own worst enemies in Australia.
Well, we every summer have a massive picnic for the club and their families and invited guests from other clubs. And we bring the big saw
Oh,
in and
good idea.
we slab the wood and
Howdy,
it works
Lewis.
well.
Lewis, how are you, Lewis?
Hello, Lewis.
Klondike.
Hello, Lewis. Klondike, isn't it?
Yeah, Klondike Craftsman.
Yeah, thought so.
Good memory, Jay.
It's got to be good for something, I suppose.
Just be careful of heat build up in that now, Jay. It's starting to warp a little bit.
Should have said that before I applied the Yorkie. That gets hot.
No, that's all right.
Have I slept today? No. I haven't slept for 2 days.
Damn. Start sell your bed and pillows. You don't need them.
No, the insomnia is pretty much permanent. I get about 3 or 4 hours sleep a week.
Wowzers.
That's not a good way to be.
No. I know.
Ooh.
Tell me about it.
Well, it depends if you can keep functioning at that level, that's all. Geez, Jay, it's got up to 26 degrees in the workshop here today so far.
Yeah.
Heat wave.
I got 35 inside my workshop. I mean my tissue shed.
Your suitcase.
Yeah, that's it.
No, suitcase is stronger.
Is that centigrade or Celsius?
Celsius.
Does anyone use centigrade anymore?
No,
Not, I don't think for temperature they don't.
unless the Yanks use it.
I know scientists.
No,
still
we're
use
Fahrenheit.
I know. No, they're Fahrenheit. They're behind everybody.
Freedom height.
But
Tradition.
I think it's only scientists that scientists use centigrade.
There you go. Look,
Yeah.
I put the
And
Fahrenheit
Kelvin.
one out. I put the Fahrenheit one outside, right? And it's gone all the way around. It's gone past it, and I can't even hold it properly.
Yeah.
It's bloody hot to touch.
Broke it.
Yeah, no. You guys just don't have hot enough summers.
Yeah.
Weak as.
No, Kelvin is it's a big scientific one, of course. Got too many
Kelvin,
decimal
yeah,
points
that's
in
all. I
it
knew they
for
used
use.
different. I tell you what, those cracks are getting longer, Jay.
Shh.
Yeah,
Stop
don't
telling
mention-
them.
Don't talk about
Accent
the
marks.
cracks.
You know, it become a flower pot. I mean, it forms a flower.
Eva called it a flower pot the other day.
Yeah, I know.
How rude.
What's that you're putting in there now, Jay?
Oh, my shine juice.
Nice.
It's standard shine juice, but it's got walnut oil in it as well, just to give that extra bit of shine.
Cool.
Oh, whoops! I forgot to rub my shopping list off my hand. Oh well.
You didn't have much to shop for, it looked like.
Can't lose that shopping list, you see. Can't forget it either.
If it's indelible, it'll be there a while. Unless it's something you need all the time.
Maths.
Hey, no, there's I'll have to say it too, though. When you guys say meths, it kind of sounds like you're talking about stuff that the stuff people take, you know? That doesn't sound right.
Mescaline.
It's metho.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Don't even want to go quiet at once. I had to look over to make sure my computer was still running.
that happens sometimes.
No, we're still here. We want to see this finished.
Oh,
All of us.
sorry, you're gonna have to go now. I'll can it just before it's finished, all right?
Don't you dare.
You can't do it to the J Social Club.
What a shit stir that would be, eh? I'd almost just pour it into this bark.
Yeah, that's
Might
not a
help
bad
keep
idea. Or if you've got a little sprayer, that would help.
I've got a paintbrush.
Keep Keep
Paintbrush
it
would
from
do.
cracking.
Paintbrush would be good.
All right, it's not a paintbrush. It's a makeup brush.
Even better. Finer bristles.
Yes.
And much cheaper.
Especially when you get them from your wife who doesn't use them. Yes. Even better. Ah, can you hear that bird? I'm gonna go and kill the bloody thing in a minute.
Go throw a rock at it.
I don't kill animals, but it's getting right annoying.
Kind of bird is it?
It's called a minor bird. They're actually classed as a pest here because they just constantly breed and they kick other animals out, other birds out. Yeah.
They're very expensive here to have as indoor.
A minor bird.
Yeah, several hundreds of dollars.
You can come over here and grab as many as you want for free.
Can't you
They
trade them?
probably do it, and then they pay the vet bills and keep it in quarantine for whatever it is that's
Yep.
required. But you pay upwards. Been about 5 years ago, but a good friend of mine had minor birds and he had one die, and it was like $600 to replace it.
Wow. I'm in the wrong business.
Well, it's not indigenous, so it's different.
Yeah. They're, what they go around do, they go around and chase all the other birds out to the point where the other species just leave because they just get hassled out so much. And then there's one bird pretty much in the whole of Australia that they fear, and that's the crow, because the crow likes to raid nests.
Those we got.
Magpies will try it sometimes, but they get shooed off by when the minor birds gang up on them. But the crows, they don't care. They just go rah and go in for the kill.
There's
One
lots
thing
of
the bird I miss from being in Alaska is the great bald eagle. They are so graceful as they just, you don't even see them flap their wings but a few times, and then they glide with
Yeah.
almost for, 20, 30 minutes. They'll just
Uh,
soar and glide.
you've never seen a wedge-tailed eagle in flight, then, have you, Bob? The wedge-tailed
No.
eagle is absolutely fantastic. Same as the albatross. Albatross too. Got to get my
That'll be
phone.
the phone reach. I need it for that now. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I saw bald eagles up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
My my step grand, they had a cabin up in Wisconsin. We used to go up there every summer. Had bald eagles down on the lake, down behind.
Yeah.
We get a lot here in Utah too.
They're coming back. They were hunted off, and it's one thing that everyone has agreed on: you don't touch them. Actually, the great bald that were in Alaska, people were just going up and shooting them like mad. And then the Alaska Native tribes, Tlingit and the Athabascan, and the Aleut particularly, they'd shoot to kill to get rid of you. And then they'd claim it to be a bear attack. And everybody would look at each other and kind of, yeah, and nod, yeah. But they protect that bird. It's a holy bird to them in their tradition. But they can have up to a 6-foot wingspan.
Cool.
The great bald eagle.
Same height as me.
Oh yeah, they are a gorgeous bird. They just get up and they can soar in the mountains up there, catching the updrafts. They know more about flying than man does, until we ended up simulating flying on a computer, and they found that they do less work as far as what feathers that they move to fly, and than anything that we've ever designed as a man.
Yeah.
Swoop out of nowhere, and people and the animals thereafter don't even see them, hear them, and they just, all they know is that they've been grabbed and they're being flown off to their nest.
That's good, Steve. It's good that they're making a comeback.
Just a moment of truth, Joe. You're taking it out, are you?
Now I'm just polishing the back for now. I have to put it in a jam truck, eh?
Yeah, I'd heard about the offspring problem,
Yep.
and I'm glad they're coming back. We got too many people that
Right,
just
I'm
wanna
going to have to go in a
bring
minute.
birds
I've got a
for target
customer
practice.
turning up.
All right. I'll take it out if you want to wait 5 seconds. Oh, ugh.
Yeah. It's got a nice shape to it, Jay, actually.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Classic
Very
shape.
nice.
Like that.
Yeah, the grain pattern is, you've made it an excellent. You've brought the grain pattern out.
Yeah.
Hey, that's beautiful. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna. I've made the bottom like that so I could part it off there and leave that bit on the bottom.
Yeah, they always look better with a little bit of a ridge around the base.
Yeah,
Instead
better
of just blending
detail.
straight in.
Look at that! I did that without
Um,
even here, Robbo. Oh!
Just shows what fantastic teacher and patience Robo has.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. Brilliant job, mate.
All right, I'm sorry, I've got to go.
Cheers,
gotta
Robert.
go, folks. So I've got a customer coming in about 5
See you,
minutes.
Robin.
All right, thanks for
Catch
coming
you
in.
tomorrow
Thanks
night.
for your help. Bye.
Yeah, good night all.
Bye, Robert.
For you lot, good afternoon for me. Bye.
Jay, that's been wicked, mate. Thank you for having me as an earwig.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to have you, Mark.
It's good to have different people in here.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
I'm just sorry that you don't sleep.
Yes, that's nasty. That is.
I'm sort of used to it now.
Jay the Conehead.
Yes.
It fits.
Now, if you need to send your wife to the store to get you a hat, give her the bowl.
That's it. You got it. Yeah, I appreciate everyone sticking around for the 4 bloody days it took to make this.
What's for tomorrow?
Yep.
Yep, you haven't thought that far ahead yet. It's a
I'll sleep on it.
surprise.
I'll sleep on it. It was just ever so slightly just starting to split too. Look, didn't have those splits yesterday.
Yep. Well, get some
Yeah.
pictures of it for your own scrapbook.
Yeah, I will definitely.
Same time tomorrow night?
Yep, same bat time, same bat channel,
Cool.
same batty people. Ooh,
Probably.
did I
You
just
need
say
to
that?
send Mark on, make sure you get Mark on the invitation list.
Always.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. I'll do it so much you'll get annoyed with me.
Dad, don't bother me. I like the company.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Fine.
All right, gotta leave you.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Bye, mate.
I think the comment is good day.
G'day, mate.
Good night.
Bye, mate.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
Night, everyone.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Everyone else left in the that thing down there? Yeah, the chat. Yeah. Thanks for coming in, gents. Do appreciate it. I tend to leave it up to my earwigs to tell me what's going on in the chat. Otherwise, it distracts me too much, and I never get nothing done. So. All right, take it easy. Wherever you are, whatever time of the day or night it is. Bye. Hit the bloody button already.